Looks can be deceiving, and so can living your life thinking that you've found it. When you accept Jesus and you feel that peace in your heart from that forgiveness, that's step one. But have you given him your life? A lot of you have lived your whole lives just doing your own thing. Think, well, I give God my life. I think about, doing right and doing wrong and trying not to do that. Well, that's good. But when you actually give him your life, that's a different story. He says, take up your cross and follow me. What does that mean? Give up serving the deeds of the flesh and whatever the mind wants, and begin to serve the Spirit. Follow the Spirit. These flies, man, they're like the demons. They like to distract you and take you off the path. And you're not going to follow along the path if you're just, doing whatever your body wants and satisfying your mind with whatever your mind wants and whatever your eyes want to see and your ears want to hear and all that stuff. It only takes you so far. And there's a lot that you're missing out. And the biggest thing you're going to miss out, I'm going to talk to that third, but number one is you're kind of wandering. You're just doing your own thing. Okay, maybe this job works. I like this. Is that really what God wants you to be doing? If you had given him your life and said, hey, Lord, take my life, take all of me. Do what you want with me. Lead and guide my path. I'm not going to do anything unless it's your will. So please lead me into that. And number two, the benefit of having your life given to him is you have order and you have understanding of where you're going, what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, at least you know that you're following him by faith. Like, I don't know where we're going next, Lord. I don't know. But I trust you and I'm following you. When you haven't given your life to the Lord, you're just doing your own thing. And when you get stuck, you get worried and you're like, what am I going to do? You get in fear and blah, blah, blah. Why? Because you don't turn to him. You just do your own thing. And so anytime something comes to block the way, instead of taking it as a wake-up call to seek the Lord, you just worry and get concerned and what do I do? Oh, God, help me. And then you reach out to him, and then he provides something because he loves you so much out of his mercy. Provides something for you, and something shows up, and you do the same thing, and you keep doing it, and then something else happens, and I lost my job. What do I do? And you get something else, and then you kind of go in the same cycle. And you're doing this because you haven't given your life to the Lord. When you give your life to him, it means you give up your plans and your desires, and you want his. And his are good, and they're fulfilling, and they're pleasing to your heart, and he takes care of you. So don't go living your life thinking that, well, I'm scared of, fully giving up and trusting. I'm just going to be honest. I'm scared of it. I'm telling you, I've been there. I lived most of my life there, and it wasn't good. I wasted decades of just doing nothing with my life because Jesus didn't have it. Did I have him in my heart? Yes. Was I led and guided by his Spirit every step of the way? Not really. There were times I would do stuff and I'd feel conviction. Okay, I shouldn't have bought that. I feel like God wants me to return it. But the rest of the time, I'm just kind of, doing my own thing. But when you give your life to him, you allow him to be your guide. You allow him to be the rudder of your boat. You allow Jesus to take the wheel, and he'll steer you in the right direction. And though it may not seem like you can see where it's going, you don't understand where it's going, you have committed to trusting him in faith. And when you don't commit to taking hold of faith and trusting him with your life, your direction, goals, whatever God has for you, you're just going to keep wandering. You know what? And So that's number 2. And number 3, the thing you're missing out on, and the thing that really is the most important, is when you're walking with God, you got his heart. He's got your heart. He misses you. He loves you. He wants you to feel his heart. That number 3 is the biggest and the most important thing, is feeling his heart and understanding that he's sad. He misses you. He really does. He's not waiting for you to come around so he can beat you up. He wants you to come back to his heart and just embrace him and allow him to embrace you. And when you do that, man, he just wraps his arms around you and he comforts you, and he'll lead and guide you in all your ways and all your steps. And that is a promise, a written promise in the Bible. So stop with the worrying and the fear of, can I give God my heart or whatever? Can I give God my life? I've been there, man. It's the devil messing with you, and he's keeping you stuck in your own thing as long as possible, because he doesn't want you to fulfill your missions that God has for you. He doesn't want you to learn to love him deeper and to love other people deeper. The devil wants to keep you stuck in monotony of melancholy, apathy, nothingness. Why? Because when you're in that, you're not even loving yourself, you're not loving other people, and you're not really loving God. You're just kind of existing and just, giving the flesh whatever the flesh wants, and you're just kind of, you're going with the flow of the world, and you're missing out. You're missing out so much. God has rewards for you for choosing righteousness and loving him, seeking him, walking with him, and loving others. All God wants for you is to learn to love him and love others. That's it. The law is summed up in this, that you love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's it. Everything else is secondary. Your mission, your job, your calling, your whatever it is. Your main calling is to love God and love others. That's it. That is it. When you face him, that's what's going to be. He's going to look at you and say, did you learn to love? A lot of people, he doesn't let them come home until they learn to love. Some people get so lost, so stuck in drunkenness or whatever it is, or substances, and out of mercy, he lets them come home because they could have gone deeper and deeper into a deep hole. Man, don't miss out on your destiny. The meek will inherit the earth. There's so much rewards for following him. There's people that won't get access into the great city, into heaven. They'll be in the outer courts because they didn't walk with God, really. They believed in Jesus, they had the forgiveness of their sins, but they barely made it into heaven. And they missed out a lot. You got to understand, heaven is not just this, place in the clouds. It is amazing, incredibly glorious and beautiful. And there's such a depth that you can go with God's heart, and being there, being at the throne and worshiping him and all the angels and everything. And I could go on. But listen, get yourself on track right now. I just want to encourage you to give your heart and your mind, your body, your soul, every part of you to him, your future, your job, everything. You idolizing your car, or you're this or you're that, you got to throw it, cast it out, get rid of it, whatever it takes. Your life here on earth is not worth you messing around with this stuff. You are here for a snippet of temporary time, and you have this great, wonderful opportunity to walk with him in love and obedience and discipline, and receiving from him and allowing him to have your heart. God bless you.